host. Welcome to Freedom TV. This is Freedom TV's Offensive Line. This is our very first episode of Offensive Line. It's a great episode. We got a lot of planning for today. There's just a little bit more time to set up. I'll be right back. Please enjoy this image while I'm gone. Alright, I am back. Yes, today is the very first episode of Freedom TV's Offensive Line. This is our late night coverage of the news. We're going to be doing this every once in a while. It's going to be at night. So, this is going to be around an hour show. Just so y'all know, we're mainly be talking about the conservative civil war, as well as a few other issues. The main issue I'm going to be covering tonight is, of course, Civil War. Yeah, we'll be starting that soon. Yeah. Just so y'all know, Freedom TV, we're going to set up our own Twitter for this channel soon, as well as possibly an email. I just wanted to let y'all know that. Alright. Let's begin. Offensive Line, Episode 1. Conservative Civil War. So, currently, for those unaware, in the conservative sphere, there is a battle between the conservatives, the real conservatives, and this very far right, radical. They're not really far right. They're more of. I don't exactly know a term to describe them. They've been described by many terms. You might know them as post-liberals, post-modernists, Groypers. The Groypers are just one faction of this group. They are the enemy from within. Okay. Nick Fuentes is the enemy. Okay, he is not an ally of the of right-wing activity. He is a left-winger. Okay. Because in reality, fascism, which I'm not calling him a fascist, his ideology is his own, and I don't really think there's any one ideological term you can ascribe to it. But he is a degenerate. He is a scumbag. He is a racist. He is an anti-classical liberal. He does not share any of our American values or our Western values. He hates Protestantism. He hates Jews. He is the antithesis of what the founders would have wanted. Okay? And I'm not gonna say that I don't think he has any good qualities. Alright, he is the antithesis to everything good in a civilized society. He is the enemy from within. And if he and his gang of ill-bred degenerates take over the right and bring us to identitarianism, well, that's the death of classical liberalism. The death of classical liberalism would be the end of America. Okay? There's no America without classical liberalism. America was founded on classical liberalism. And any society claiming to be America without classical liberalism is not America. It is a different society. It does not share any of our values. It does not share any of our core ideas. It is a far degenerate society which does not care for anyone else. It doesn't even care for America. It is right-wing identitarian in nature. It is deplorable. It has no interest in America's well-being. They are the enemy from within. They act like the woke left, though I do not believe the term woke right being aspired to them is very good. I think that there's probably some better terms out there to describe what they are. But they are the enemy from within. Classical liberalism is the only way to save America. There is no way of saving America without classical liberalism. Okay? America cannot be saved without classical liberalism. These are not controversial statements. These are simple facts. And this group of people, they don't care about America. They don't love America. No, what they love is the idea of having this Catholic, solitarian worldview where the government handles everything. It's basically, I hate to attribute this term, but the only thing I could attribute it to is a corporatist kind of society. That's not what we want. Now, listen, I like James Lindsay. All right, I think James Lindsay awesome. But I don't think the term woke right is a correct term to use. I think he should debate Nick Fuentes, because if he didn't debate Nick Fuentes, it would prove that Nick Fuentes is a degenerate, and that he is a liar, and that he is, again, the antithesis of American civilization. He is just disgusting in everything he says. He's committed heinous actions. He is the antithesis of the American experiment, and the founding fathers would have founded him as a deplorable and disgusting and depraved man. He is not a very intelligent man on that front, but that's enough on him. Moving on to the rest of the Civil War between the conservatives. It's mainly very sad because, listen, I think the right needs to unite. Alright? And also, I'm going on a little tangent here. So I saw something where it put Thomas Massie, and by the way, I'm a big fan of Thomas Massie, in the same camp as Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson. Okay, listen, Thomas Massie listen, I don't agree with Thomas Massie on everything. I agree with Thomas Massie on a lot. I agree we should not have passed the big beautiful bill. I agree. But Thomas Massie is not a he's not in that group. Thomas Massie is not anti-Israel. He advocates a moderate position, which I'm more of a pro-Israel person myself. But yes, he attributes a more moderate position on the issue than me. But he is not in the same camp as people who hate Israel. And it's really the people I can't stand are those solidarianite people, those Christian democracy type fellows. They're always about how the government should get involved in this, and this, and it really is disgusting. And this new idea of the Dark Enlightenment, which is just disgusting, because the Enlightenment was one of the greatest things to ever happen to civilization in world history. It is it's up there. People being enlightened to the ideals of classical liberalism, limited government, capitalism. Which, by the way, this new strand of right-wingism, it does not believe in capitalism. It does not believe in freedom or liberalism in any way. It believes in this like corporatist worldview where basically the government controls everything and it gets to make all the decisions, which, as we all know, is the furthest thing from conservative. And I don't really call myself a conservative. I would more say the term classical liberal is more attributable to me. I guess libertarian conservative would also be a good term to use for me. But, I mean, it's just disgusting and depraved that this is even a debate between, on one side you have the rationalists, the very rational people, like Ben Shapiro and, what's the guy's name is, James Lindsay, and, all the other conservative commentators. And then you have this other group of very degenerate, depraved wastes of space in many ways. So it's really sad that that's even debate going on right now. But yeah, so the main reason it's going on is because over Israel, the woke right, or as they're commonly called, or they're also called, go by other names. For this segment, I will call them the, hold on. We're going to use the term solidarianite. So when I say solidarianite, that's the term I've attributed to these people. So that's the term we're going to be calling them, solidarianites. That's the term we're going to be attributing to this group of people. Is because, so the solidarianites, they hate Israel, they hate the Jews, they hate everybody. It's disgusting, the fact that they hate them. So basically, they're angry at Israel because Israel defended itself. And they're also claiming that Donald Trump is a Israel-first politician, which he's not. Israel is a great ally of ours. I really do believe that. I think Israel is one of our top allies. And the alliance with Israel is very good. Okay? And listen, I'm not a neoconservative person who thinks the government, or not the government, the United States should go and invade all these countries. Listen, I am an opponent of the draft. I am an opponent of the Iraq War. Okay, I am not a fan of going into other countries and invading them with boots on the ground action. Now, I think that there is room for precise attacks against America's enemies, though they must be a last resort. I think any form of aggression is a last resort, and I think boots on the ground is the very last resort. Like, that is when you are at war. Okay, boots on the ground's when you're at war. Okay, but airstrikes and such, should be a last resort, and should be used very, very conservatively, very sparingly, against some of our enemies. But yeah, Israel is a great ally of ours. Israel is a very fond ally of ours. And the Solidarianites, they don't believe that. Okay, the Solidarianites, they don't even believe in free speech. I bet the minute they come to power, they'd end all free speech. They'd have the FCC take down everything they disagree with because they don't like freedom. They don't care about freedom. Because if you don't believe in the principles of classical liberalism, how could you believe in freedom? They don't believe in freedom. They want us to go back to the Middle Ages of rule by kings, and it's deplorable. Okay, there's a reason we have a republic. Okay, we have a republic for a reason. Okay, and one of the most important things because it is natural, as Thomas Jefferson said, for liberty to yield and for the government to grow. That's why you need vigilance against not only the government, but people who are threatening to use the government to destroy our Constitution, our values, our American principles. So yes, it is very necessary to be vigilant against tyranny in all the forms that it may come as. It's very important to fight against that. It's very important to fight that. Overall, it is important to fight that. And just some of the things that Solidarianites, they've existed for a while, and they've come in many different shapes and forms, and they've always kind of just been this very evil group. They're a very bad group of people, and I don't like them. I don't think anyone really should like them. They're, they're nasty. I don't like them. But sadly, if we don't get our act together and defend liberty as it should be defended, then you know what these people are going to do? They're going to come and they're going to kill liberty, and there will be no more liberty, okay? Without classical liberalism in the world, there's no liberty. And once liberty dies, what happens then? Well, then liberty's dead forever. It's all dead. Liberty is dead forever. It will never come back, ever. It will stay dead, and it will stay dead forever. It will never be reborn, ever. It will stay dead because they killed it. They don't care about our Constitution. They do not care. It will be the fall of Rome, I tell you. The fall of Rome. And there'll be a dark age after they destroy it. There'll be a dark age, I tell you. There'll be a dark age after this nation falls because we didn't watch, okay? Not only did we let the barbarians in by allowing all these refugees in, we also did, we let the people who we should trust, our own citizens, and we let them become things that they're not. American means that, listen, all Americans should understand classical liberalism, and every American should believe it. I'm not saying they should be forced to. I don't think anyone should be forced to do anything they don't want to do unless they have been unless it's for punishment, or unless it is. Actually, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Really, I don't believe in the draft, because the draft not only is it unconstitutional, it is morally degenerate and wrong. To force anyone to go and give their life up for a cause that they might not support, that's wrong. To have someone forced to go and die for a cause they do support is wrong. Okay? And anyone who doesn't believe that is just peddling the idea that the government should have the right to take your life. Because if you don't have the right to sign yourself up, but someone else does, what other rights do you have? You have no rights, do you? You're just another person. I mean, not another person. You're just a pawn, man. You don't have rights. If the government can force you to go fight in a war, they can force you to go and buy something you don't want to buy, or they can force you to watch something you don't want. The government can force you to read what you don't want. The government can force you to do this, and the government can force you to do that. If you don't understand the basic principle that you are if you don't understand the basic principle that you are yourself, you are an individual, and you have individual rights that are ordained by God for you to have, then you have no reason to believe that people should have rights. The only thing you should believe is that the state should control everything and should have the right to violate whatever principles it may hold for the sure sake of keeping itself alive, so that it may violate all of the people's principles for the sake of what? For the sake of nothing. Because these people don't even believe in reason. They want to go back to a pre-enlightenment society of sadness and despair, a society of mass starvation, a society in which capitalism doesn't exist and everything is determined by the will of a state. A state should not have the will to take people's property or take people's rights just because it ordains it as necessary for the common good. The common good means nothing, okay? I think the common good means absolutely nothing, okay? And it shouldn't mean anything, okay? The common good is no reason to take anyone's rights, okay? If anyone tells you, oh, we have to take this for the common good, then that is the most absolute bullcrap argument ever. Because your rights should come first. You have rights. You're a citizen, are you not? Are you not a citizen? And in the Constitution, in the Declaration of Independence does not say that you have your God-given rights to pursuit of happiness? What if this property that I own, that you claim must be taken for the common good? Well, what if that's my pursuit of happiness? What if I own a farm, right? And I really like the property the farm's on, and the government says, and they say, oh no, we're going to take your house so that we can build some stupid solar panels. Well, that violates my oh God, I'm sounding like a broken record today. I'm so sorry. What if that farm was my pursuit of happiness, and you're taking it for the common good? Now, solar panels arguably are not for the common good, because they're probably one of the most ineffective sources of energy ever. But this point still stands, that your individual liberties have to come first. And if you don't believe in individual liberty, then you really don't have a reason to believe in people's rights. Because again, if you believe the state comes first, then there's no reason to believe the state should have any limits to its power. I'm starting to sound pretty much as a downer. Hold on. Alright, what are we going to do next? Alright, next we have, in other news, some other news. I didn't really think this part out. Donald Trump has officially opened up for he has officially endorsed the Epstein files being released. Now listen, my opinion on Donald Trump and the Epstein files. Do I believe that Donald Trump is on the Epstein files? No, he's not. If Donald Trump was on the Epstein files, then Donald Trump would not campaign on releasing them. Okay? The reason I don't think Donald Trump has endorsed it up until this point... Now, listen, this is just speculation, and I have no evidence for this at all. However, if I had to guess, I would say maybe someone who is important to him is on the list. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying that's a possibility. I doubt it's true. Maybe it's that Donald Trump just doesn't want to mess with people, which he should release it. The files should be released if they exist. I think they might exist. Maybe they don't. I'm not sure. Alright, I'm not a cop. I'm not an investigator. That's not my job. I sit in my room and make these stupid political commentary videos. So good job, Donald Trump, on that. Good job for doing that. I'm really happy he did this. I'm a big fan of Thomas Massie. though Rand Paul, I would argue, is one of the better ones. I like libertarianism, so yeah, I like that. I would like to also talk about Donald Trump taking stock in companies, or the federal government under Donald Trump taking stock in companies. I don't. Okay, to start, it's not socialist. All right, and I'll point out a video. I'll put it in the link to the description after this is finished. Of an Andrew Heaton video, put it on Reason. About if Donald Trump's a socialist. I'm gonna put that in the description once this is over. Please check it out. I think it's quite interesting, and it's mainly gonna hit on one of the points I'm saying here. What Donald Trump's doing isn't really socialist. It's more of just soft corporatist. Because what he's really doing is just taking stock in other companies. Number one, the federal government should be doing this because the federal government should not have stock in companies. It should be acting as kind of a referee, and the referee should not have bets on any team. So I'm simply saying that they shouldn't be doing that. It's not socialisty doing it. It's more of just soft corporatist, which you shouldn't be doing it. And I'm gonna do a little video on this with straight facts, about the whole thing, in broad detail. So, I'll be waiting to check that out. I did not think this part out. Yeah, I guess this was kind of short, but that's it for today.